how do I become a better writer in terms of a daily discipline or a practice-based habit-forming approach to that sort of skill?
Okay, so I think in terms of developing habits, I think it is about developing a habit that is sustainable. So I don't know, I've just started jogging, which is like a very new life-changing thing for me. And in the beginning of the year, I was like, I'm going to jog every day, right? I'm going to hit the beachfront and I'm going to be running half an hour, 40 minutes every day. I'm going to do it. Okay, so I did it like for a couple of days, and then like I got sore, and then I like got a little bit tired, and then I got a little bit achy, and then I dropped it for a couple of days. And okay, I got back into it, but it was a mission. Whereas, had I thought, okay, you know what, I'm going to hit it one day, I'm going to take a day off. I'm going to get excited for the next day and do it again. If I'd broken it into something more manageable and doable, I think I would have been able to develop that consistency. And I think it's the same with writing. I think if you say, I'm going to write for 5 hours every day straight, I think that can seem really daunting. And it's also really difficult if we're trying to balance that with all the other things we're trying to do with our lives. Whereas if we think, okay, I'm going to definitely do an hour every day. That's doable, right? You can do everything for an hour, right? That's sustainable. I don't know if you and your community is familiar with Pomodoros. Do you know that technique? Yeah. So Pomodoro, you work in 25-minute bursts. It's really cool. I use them a lot. In fact, during my PhD, I got so hooked into it that I could basically only sustain attention for 25 minutes. But how Pomodoros work is that you work for 25 minutes, focus, that's it. You're just working. Then you take a break for 5 minutes. Then you come back again for 25 minutes and you take a break for 5 minutes. So you might want to set yourself a Pomodoro goal. You might decide, I'm going to do 4 of these, 5 of these every day. If you can come back and do more, fantastic. If you add on to it, that's brilliant. But you're setting yourself a really doable goal for every day. And I think that that's how it becomes sustainable. I am also a big believer in breaking big projects up into chunks. So, instead of sitting down and saying, I'm going to write my literature review today, which can be very hard, to put some thinking in, to decide what your literature review might look like, have an outline, and then you can decide, okay, I'm going to work on just 3.2.1 today. I'm just going to get that done, because that is something that is sort of achievable. You can tick it off your box. It's a goal that's doable and achievable. So I think that that's really important in terms of establishing that sustainability. And someone whose podcast I listen to talks about developing sort of positive feedback with your writing. And I think that when you make your goal smaller but start achieving that goal, you begin to feel good about it. As opposed to, if you've set yourself 5 hours a day, that's going to be hard for anybody. So then if you don't achieve your goal, you start feeling bad about it. It brings up all this anxiety, all this sort of self-judgment stuff. And that just doesn't kind of make you want to sit down the next day and do more writing.